Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your August 16th to the 31st, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Forgive my voice, I am getting over the flu. Let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Sagittarius, August 16th to 31st, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Excuse me. Sagittarius, August 16th to the 31st, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Sagittarius, August 16th to the 31st, 2021, Sagittarius. Goodness. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Sagittarius, August 16th to the 31st, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Now at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Empress and we have the High Priestess. My absolute favorite combination here, Sagittarius. That's absolutely beautiful. We have the Tower. We have the Knight of Wands, which represents us. In the minor arcana, we're represented by the Wands. In the major arcana, we're represented by Temperance. So we're coming through as a knight, as a warrior in our inner selves. And the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Tower going into the Tower. So at our heart, there is this beautiful change. And it really is a beautiful change. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we're born on the cusp with Capricorn, this is going to be coming through quite profoundly. If we have Earth sign energy within our chart, it's going to be coming through very profoundly at our heart. Excuse me. Then we have the Holy King, which is the Hermit. This is Virgo energy. If we have Virgo within our chart, this is going to be coming through very powerfully in the public arena. Then we have the High Priestess again, and I love the pairing of the Hermit and the High Priestess because this is both a pairing that doesn't care what anybody else thinks, doesn't care how anybody else perceives them. It's all about the inner journey, and that's what we're really going to see in the public arena, that we're going to be looking at the world and saying, you know what? You don't hold the allure for me that you once did. Not that we're apathetic towards existence in the world itself. It's that I'm not living for anybody else anymore. I'm not living to fulfill anybody else's dreams. I'm living to be able to embrace my own dreams, my own desires, my own hopes, my own wishes, my own bounty. And that's what's going to be propelling us forward during this time. It's time that changes us at our core, but it's also a time that calls to a change that has been happening around us, which is really quite beautiful. Now let's look at the energy that we have to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Sagittarius needs to be mindful of August 16th to the 31st, 2021, Sagittarius? And this is the High Priest. This is the Hierophant in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. We have to be very mindful of the allure of power and of people being very set in their ways, and us thinking because they're set in their ways, because they're so stubbornly assured that they are right and we are wrong, that we are wrong and they are right. And this is going to be a time where we can really give up our power to people who are just bossy. And this can be to little kids who are bossy and no, I want it this way. And we can find that it's just easier. It's just easier to give in to older grown children who are just like, no, I want it this way. And this is a time where we say, no, this is what I'm learning. This is what I'm teaching. This is what I'm bringing forward. And I don't need to be corrupted by your own kind of megalomania. So just be very mindful of that. And it leads us then to our chakra energy. Sagittarius, August 16th to the 31st, 2021, Sagittarius, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And this is dreams. Pay attention to your dreams, Sagittarius. You're going to find that you are an acquirer of knowledge. You bring knowledge forward in your world, in yourself. You're seeking, you're discovering. A lot of things are going to come together when your subconscious and your conscious aren't fighting with each other. When you embrace dreams, there are going to be a lot of things that start to just make sense. A lot of things that start to fall into place. And this is going to be a time where use that as a gift, because it really is. Embrace that as the gift that it is, as it opens your third eye, as it opens your greater understanding, as it leads you forward. Because this is a time where you're creating so much. We have the Empress, and here the Empress is represented as pregnant. And the representation of being pregnant does not mean that we have to be birthing forward a child, though it can very well mean that literal interpretation. But what it means is that we're bringing something forward into the world that has been living within us for quite some time. We are creating, we are evolving, we are gaining an understanding, and it's opening up doors. It's leading us forward. It's guiding us towards something that is more than what we had originally thought it could be, than what we had anticipated for ourselves. This has been something that we've been nurturing inside ourselves and maybe even worrying against. Do I let this out into the world or do I not? Do I embrace this dream or do I hold it back? Do I let the seed take root or don't I? Am I ready for this or am I not? And this is a time where we just kind of have to say, let me create. Let me see what creates in this ground of change, in this new landscape that is mine. And it brings us to the High Priestess. It's not about everybody else anymore. We're actually seeing a lot of the masks fall off. People that we once thought were infallible, we're seeing them as fallible. We're seeing people shaken. We're seeing things shaken. Just in our world in general, things have been shaken up quite a lot. We're looking at it, and we're looking at ourselves, and we're saying, where do I stand here? And why do I stand here? What do I want? And how do I want to move forward? And this is not going to be a time where we can lie to ourselves, especially in the public arena. We're going to really find that we have to be honest. And this can be that, somebody says something. It's like, oh my gosh, well, we're at the same place and look at all the work you put into it and I didn't put any work into it. And look at, I got here and you got there. And this is going to be a time where we say, but I'm not done yet. And we mean that with every single ounce of our being. And it doesn't matter our age. So often we look at our age and we think, oh my gosh, I can't possibly, achieve what I want to achieve or move forward the way that I want to move forward. It's just not going to happen. That's not the case. This is a time where we look at limitations. We look at the hurdles put around us, the weights put on us. And we say, I'm done. I'm done listening to what you think is truth. I'm going to embrace what is right for my soul and myself. I'm going to see me moving forward. And this leads us to really kind of reveling in the moment. Not kind of. This leads us to reveling in the moment. This is a time where it isn't going to be the planning the 15 million steps ahead. And yet we kind of like to do that. As fire sign energies, we like to create. We like to be impassioned. We like to think of the bigger picture. We like to think of the conquest. But this is going to be a time where we look at the now and we say, how do I let this moment shine bright? And instead of looking at what can I do to build up, brightly shining moments, it's like, how can I make each moment that I stand in shine bright? Which means that I'm not constantly thinking about the future, but I'm fully embracing the present. And I'm letting my light, my fire, work for me instead of working against me. Instead of always making me think of the next thing to come. We have this thing in our world, the FOMO, fear of missing out. And it absolutely consumes us. This is a time where we look at the riches that are around us, even if they're not the riches we want, even if we want so desperately for our life to change, that it's like, not here, not now. But looking at the here and the now, starting to pick out the good things, and also just starting to say, wow, I don't have to achieve the next thing. I don't have to always be pushing, always be, accumulating to be happy. I can embrace this. And for once in my life, not look towards the future. I mean, we plan for the future, yes, but not, mapping out the future and saying it has to be just like this. Letting myself be, letting myself see, letting myself understand, letting me open to me. And that's where we start to become the night. That's where we start to see that if we embrace the moments that we stand in, if we look at the day and say, how am I going to make this day shine, this hour shine, this minute shine? And we become the warriors for ourselves, the champions for ourselves. The way we would champion anybody else is now the way that we champion ourselves. We champion our lives. We champion the beauty that is around us. And we start moving forward as knights with our armor on. Why? Because the world is harsh. And we know that. We're not fools. But as we embrace our dreams and our desires, we start to move forward with grace and elegance and eloquence and determination and insight and ideas. And it brings us to the tower, which as a knight, we're ready for. We're ready for the change that comes. We're ready for the waters to come up. We're ready for the emotions to get heavy. We're ready for things to not stay the same. This is not a change that is bad. This can be a change that negatively impacts us, but it's not necessarily a bad change. It's kind of like when you find your first white hair and you go, oh my gosh, what the heck? This is not supposed to happen. It's not a bad change. But it can be a bad change. It can be all of a sudden like, I'm eating a whole chocolate cake and crying. Or it can be, wow, I'm entering into a realm of wisdom. I'm entering into a realm of greater understanding. And that's going to be this change. It can be devastating, but it can also be powerful if we let it be. And this is a time where divinity says, ready or not, here it comes. You can't stop anything from happening. You just can't. You can't take time and fate and hold it back. This is a time where we're looking at things and we can have the chaos of emotions and then again stand as this knight and say, I'm the defender of my passion, of my desire, of my focus, of my purpose, of where I want to be excuse me, and why I want to be there. And I embrace the doubts and the fears and everything in between. And I look at this tower and I say, what have I learned? Is this the tower that I've walked through? Are these the hardships and the pains and the disappointments that I've walked through? The times in my life where I thought, I can't, but somehow I still managed. These are the times that gave me the white hairs. Or are these the times that changed me and brought me to a place of doubt and despair that I didn't think I would reach, but because I climbed out of it, I now understand more about people and humanity and suffering and beauty and grace than I ever have before. And it moves us then to our heart, saying, I see the tower that has consumed me. And here the tower is consumed by water. And here the tower is consumed by fire. Passion, intensity, focus, determination. Sometimes I can be too much. Sometimes I can try too hard. Sometimes we have to step back. We just have to step back and say, let me see. Let me see what comes out of the flames. Let me see how I rise from the ashes. Have you ever watched a fire? Like a campfire. You can tell where they get the myth of the phoenix from. Can't we be the bird that comes out of the flames? Can't we be the freedom that comes out of doubt and despair and hardship and pain? Can't we rise? This is a time where we make that choice. And it is a choice. We can either live like Miss Havisham, okay, in Great Expectations, in a rotting wedding dress, to be consumed by fire, because we have not evolved. Or we can say, shit happens, but I'm not going to let it bury me. It brings the roses. It moves me forward. I'm determined. And that leads us to the Queen of Pentacles. It's like if we can weather the storm, all of a sudden, we start to see the seeds come. We start to see that the forest bed had been cleared out, and new seeds grow. New beauty comes. Passion that we have been nurturing for so long brings us forward to a place of wealth. If we are guided by a heart that seems tired, seems like it saw too much, seems like it has experienced too much love and too much pain and too much of everything in between. If we let ourselves start to shine, if we let what has taken root start to grow, we start to see ourselves as mighty individuals. There's a beauty of the sacred feminine here that we are being told to embrace. And not that the sacred feminine or the sacred masculine have to outdo each other. It's a beautiful balance. And here we are the nurturing of storms. Here we are the beauty of nature. Let things happen organically, naturally, holistically. Let yourself be embodied by what you have wanted to see grow for so long. The Queen of Pentacles is not simply a person of wealth. It's not simply a person that people turn to and say, solve my problems, give me a handout. The Queen of Pentacles is the one who holds her head up high and says, this is what I've earned. This is what I've grown. This is what I've nourished. And this is what I nourish through time and patience and care. The heart does not learn all at once, though we would really like it if it did. The heart learns slowly and kindly and gently. It brings us to the hermit. It brings us to a turning inward. It brings us to a saying to the world, enough is enough. I'm tired of the keeping up with. I'm tired of the Real Housewives of. It is time for me to embrace my idea of wealth. And that is not the newest car and the latest handbag or the fanciest watch. That is prestige in and of myself. That is power within my being. That is not judging by the external, but by the internal. It is being guided by the light, the holy light, that is divinity, that is our soul, that is our spark of magic in this world, the whimsy in the creation. And it's moving forward in that whimsical creation towards something more, towards something that is quiet and yet booming in its intensity. And it brings us to the High Priestess. It brings us to the perfect counterpart of the sacred masculine to the sacred feminine. The person who does not need to be seen, but sees it all. The person who does not need to change, but changes it all. Because of the wisdom, because of the insight, because of the aloofness, because of the not caring. The not caring what everybody else says and thinks and does, but standing in my power and in my world, and seeing me for as I truly am. And as we do this, as we say, this is me, this is the collective we start to gain our power, we start to gain our voice, we start to gain our identity. Not connected with anybody else, but knowing that everybody else has that spark, has that fire, has that magic within them that shines and glows and lives and dances and breathes. This is a time where we start to become greater, and we start to see things differently, where we start to see ourselves differently, and we cannot lie to ourselves. We know every lie, every secret, every wart, every deceit. And this is a time where we look at the world and we see, as Shakespeare said, each man in his time plays many parts, but all the world's a stage, and all the men and women simply players. We embrace our part. We embrace our understanding. and we see life for the stage that it is and the stage that we are in. It leads us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And that's the Prince of Pentacles. Be mindful of slowly and steadily heading in one direction, only seeing one thing, waiting till it's perfect, and not letting it out till then. Sometimes, well, when you give birth, it's messy and chaotic and horrible and terrible at the exact same time. Create. Do not let others hold you back with the lure of perfection. It'll never be right. It will always be right now. It leads us then to our subconscious chakra self, which is communication, the third chakra. It is time that we speak and listen to ourselves, and also listen to everybody else. Communication is going to be key, not being tied up in every word that everybody else says and thinking that everybody else is right, but simply listening and seeing the power that comes through listening. Also knowing that we're taking things in on so many different levels. It's not just the words that are spoken. It's the energy that's brought to the table. It's the, excuse me, it's the aura of the person. It's the, life the person that has lived and loved and led. It's the past lives that they bring in. It's understanding that communication is all of that and everything in between. It leads us then to our subconscious rooted self, which is the tower. We have had 3 towers. Divinity is bringing us to change, and we cannot stop it. This is a time where nothing stays the same, and nothing is quite as it seems. This is a time of new beginnings. This is a time of new starts. This is a time of not wanting new beginnings or new starts, but needing to accept that things are changing, and they will be moving forward in that powerful, brilliant change. It brings us then to our subconscious inner self. It's justice, Libra energy. It's a sense of balance coming in, of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity. It's saying what is right for me, not what is just for everybody else. And how can I break myself into a million pieces to be fair for everyone else, but not be fair for me? It's saying what is justice in my world? What is just within my heart? What is the justice that I can bring forward to balance my life, to balance my energy, to increase and embolden the energy that is around me, to embrace with love and understanding what is greatly desired? It brings us then to our subconscious emotional self, which is the Ace of Wands. This is a gift given just for us, to our hearts. This is our passion, our determination, our joy. The Ace of Wands is our ace. We are represented again by the wands in the minor arcana. We embrace this gift and we let ourselves shine. It's the light it's the torch that the hermit holds. It's the illumination of the moon of the high priestess. It is the light that leads us forward. It's the staff of the jousting rod of the night. This is a time where we see ourselves changed by embracing our power, by letting the light in, by letting ourselves shine, by creation, by fire, and by embracing the warmth, the fire within us. It leads us to our subconscious public self. And that's the 3 of Pentacles. Where are we changing? And why are we changing? Where do we stand? That brings us more power, more understanding, and more insight into ourselves. The 3 of Pentacles is not only people working with us, but it is the past, the present, and the future self coming together. It is the child, it is the adult, and it is the wisdom coming forward and saying, this is me. And though I cannot change the past, I stand in the present and do not have control over where the future guides me. I stand in the power of now, moving forward with intention, moving forward with power of heart, moving forward with brilliance of purpose, slowly and steadily guiding me towards more than I thought possible, more than I thought I could achieve, more than I realized I could be. Alright, Sagittarius, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we move forward, embracing the brilliance of the days to come. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius.